Howdy folks! Hi everyone, this is Carl from grade 4 Adolfo Nicolas. Today we're going to learn about the different phases and changes of matter. As we all know, matter could be either solid, liquid, or gas. These characteristics of matter are three phases of matter, and these three phases of matter each have very different and unique characteristics. Solids have a fixed shape and a fixed volume, while liquids also have a fixed volume, but doesn't have a definite shape, and that's why it always takes the shape of its container. Gas, on the other hand, takes the volume and the shape of its container. However, did you guys know that there's a fourth state of matter? Yes, there is, and it is called plasma. What is plasma, you may ask? Plasma is the fourth state of matter. It is made of gas. Atoms are the smallest pieces of all matter. When heat or energy is applied to the gas, its atoms get very excited and turn into ions. When the outer electrons of atoms break off, it then creates plasma. Lightning is a very good example of plasma. And also the magical northern lights. There's also a time when matter changes into a different phase when heat or pressure is applied. When matter transforms from one phase to another, it is said to be having a physical change. This triangle right here helps us understand when matter changes from one phase to another. The plus and minus signs help us indicate when heat is applied or subtracted. Now let's talk about how matter changes from one phase to another when heat is applied. First, melting, or in chemistry, they call it fusion. A perfect example for this is turning solid ice into water by adding heat or leaving it out in a room temperature. Melting, in other words, is when solids turn into liquids. Next is boiling, or in chemistry, they call it vaporization. A good example for this is heating up water to its boiling point. While boiling, you may realize that some of its particles turned into vapor. In other words, vaporization is when liquids turn into gas. Another fun fact, as most people don't realize, solids can skip the liquid phase and turn directly into gas. A good example for this is dry ice or solid carbon dioxide. If you add heat or just leave it out in a normal room temperature, its particles gradually change into carbon dioxide. This process is known as sublimation, where solids turn into gas. To take a gas and turn it into plasma, it's called ionization. When you heat up the gas particles, it gets very excited and eventually turn into ions. So that's all about matter getting heated up. So what about matter getting cooled down or heat being subtracted? Freezing is when matter changes from liquid to solid. This snow was at one point a liquid, but as temperature continues to drop, it turns into ice or solid. Condensation is the process of water vapor turning back into liquid water. The best example for this is those big fluffy clouds floating over your head. When the water droplets combine inside the cloud, they become heavy enough for rainfall. Matter can also change from a gaseous phase directly into a solid phase. That is called deposition. If we're living in a place where there's winter season, you might notice our windows looking like this during winter. That's frost right there. That's deposition. So what about plasma? Well, as plasma cools down, it turns back into gas. This process is called deionization. That's all for today's lesson. Hope you learned a lot. Yeah, bye-bye!